What's up, guys? It's me, Pez Flips, and today I kind of wanted to just ramble. I've been thinking about a couple things, some stuff happening in my life. I'm soon approaching another year on this earth, and yeah, I have been honestly taking a little bit of a step back from flipping. Don't freak out. I've just had other things, busy things going on in my life, which have taken my focus elsewhere. And I also got a new computer, so I've been playing a lot of computer games, and some of that grinding in Balisongs has been put into aim training again, just because I like to be good at the things that I do. But yeah, I was thinking about practicing and about trick selection, and specifically the case of feedback loops. So, what do I mean when I say feedback loops? Well, for me, I'm trying to. This is something that's discussed in psychology, but it's where something is incentivizing of itself, like a positive feedback loop. There's also a negative feedback loop, but I think for the sake of this video, we'll just do things that encourage a certain behavior. That's what a feedback loop is. You drink coffee, you're awake, that makes you feel good and productive, so you drink more coffee. Obviously, there's an extent there. You drink too much coffee, you get that negative aspect where it discourages and reduces behavior. But in flipping, I think a lot of this comes to the somewhat discomfort of learning a new trick. I think when you are flipping and you have developed a catalog of tricks, so kind of like when you approach that intermediate mark, you kind of get into this point where you have comfortable tricks that you can reliably go to. And because of that, I think stagnation is, truly an aspect of this hobby that is a pretty big deal. I think stagnation and flipping and knowing what to do next really causes a lot of people to just quit. And honestly, I was feeling a little burnt out. I don't know, just additive stuff outside of it. But I think part of the reason that I was a little bit more hesitant with flipping was because I've been trying to buy less things. And because I buy less things, I'm like slightly less excited to flip sometimes. You don't want your hobby to feel like a chore, but there's something, I don't know, paradoxical with the hobbies that I choose, where maybe it's that inner competitor in me, but I want to be good at the things that I do. And to that extent, there is a certain amount of choreness that needs to be done. I mean, balisong flipping as a whole, there are moments where it's more laborious than it is enjoyable. Now, I think it's one of those things where you have value because of the challenge that's required. If balisong flipping was just super easy, like, how someone like spins a key ring around their fingers, sure, that looks fine, but there's like a certain level of, there's like a ceiling to how impressive that can be and how satisfying that can be because of the qualities that are present. And I think that that is an important thing to consider, to think about. So these feedback loops, people get into these moments where they stagnate. They flip the same tricks because they know that they can flip like that. And because of that, they slowly phase out of the hobby, and they are never to return. Maybe. But yeah, like, it feels good to hit tricks. But if you rely too heavily on your tricks, it's going to lose its pizzazz. It's not going to have that reward for accomplishing the challenge that is learning a new trick, finding its location in an existing combo that you have, or, something of that sort. These are all aspects that when you're thinking about continuous development, there are aspects to skill building where you have to be organized. I am somebody who is very disorganized in their life, but there are certain aspects that I try to apply a little bit more order to just make my life go a little smoother. And one of those is at least trying to have dedicated time in the day to flip. Doesn't have to be a lot, but this goes back to just developing any skill. The best way to do so is in smaller increments over time rather than big chunks sporadically. I will flip for a long time sometimes. Just put on a YouTube video, chill out, and just flip while I watch, and that's fun. But, those things, if you do them too often, you could incur wrist health issues, and depending on how your form is, or you can just simply get tired of flipping. With everything, there is a point in which you're excessive with it, and if you're flipping all the time, you're not going to get that feedback, that positive feedback loop, and it's just going to get more and more disincentivizing to continue. I think that outside of that aspect, personally, I am feeling a little stuck on what I want to learn as my next trick. I don't know. I don't mind doing slow-mos, don't get me wrong, but they are just annoying to learn. Like if I just basically, be my trick goblin self and slow-mo stuff, sometimes it's just I can't seem to quite get it through the slow-mo. And I'll be honest, I haven't been doing my due diligence on learning new tricks. But that being said, I just also work full-time and do other things, and sometimes I think it's okay about burnout. It's okay to step back, That doesn't mean it's always going to be like that, but I want to approach things where they feel fresh, where they feel organic, and I don't want to feel like I'm forcing myself so much so that I'm just going to completely remove myself from a hobby. So for me, that just meant that I was kind of going to the lull, doing the same things, and I've gone flipping. I've stagnated long enough to where I can feel these feelings of, flipping's kind of boring. Not all the time, but sometimes I get that feeling, right? And what I'm going to do to respond to that feeling is learn new tricks. That's what this hobby is all about. When you feel like it's boring, that's when you learn a new trick. And it's tough because as you get better and better at stuff, there's that, it's not the Dunning-Kruger effect, but there's some sort of psychological affect in which as you get better at something, you are more critical in your appraisal. So what does that mean? Basically, the better I am at playing Call of Duty, let's keep it simple. The better I am at Call of Duty when I first play, my expectations are low. I don't expect myself to perform very well. I'm just playing a FPS for the first time. But as I continue to play, maybe I guess play games are a thing now. I get play the game a bunch of times. I feel good, and I have those higher expectations. I've seen what I can achieve, and I know what I can do. So therefore, my expectations increase as my skill increases, and the same thing that would impress me earlier no longer impresses me, and I am just dissatisfied with my performance. And then you run that slippery slope of conflating your abilities to your value as a person, which, I struggle with to this day. There's many aspects of performance that I take pride in, how I perform at my job, how I perform in my hobbies. Those are things that I take pride in, but I'm also, a human, and sometimes I find myself putting too much value in my self-worth as an extension of my performance. I think a critical thing to understand is that you have good days and you have bad days and you have fine days. It's just part of living. So yeah, I want to learn new tricks. I don't know what it's going to be right now. If you guys have some recommendations, feel free to leave the comment down below. But yeah, just thinking about stuff. I'm going to be releasing 2 videos back to back right now just because I have been sitting on the other one. I was too lazy to upload it, so I'll just do both of these tonight. But the other one is going to be on this fella here. So if that's something that's interesting to you, just go to my page and look at the YouTube video. I don't know, depending on how early you are, you might get there before the video's been fully finalized. So it's been Pez Flips. Let's try to hit a combo when I drop. I'll say goodbye. Okay, wait, that doesn't count. I also haven't really done the scissors a lot. Like, there's certain tricks that go back to this feedback loop thing that, because they're harder, I just don't do them as often. And because of that, they kind of fade into obscurity for me. Okay, he's frying. There you go. It's been Pez Flips. I will see you guys later and drink some water.